I had hoped to get this in before 7:30. It's 7:30 a.m. Eastern time as I record this. I was kind of hoping to get this reading in before then, but you know, still got time, so gonna go ahead and do this and hopefully get the links out. Sorry, with enough time for me to, get out the door at a reasonable, time and get to work and not have to rush like I did yesterday. Editing took just a touch longer than I liked, and then we were waiting on BitChute again. Sorry everyone, this post-nasal drip thing is kicking my ass again. So, here we are. Got all the cards laid out, got the significator laid down, we got mind, body, and spirit. Because you know what today is. It is Straight Tarot Tuesday, and today, ladies and gentlemen, pulling out one of my favorite decks in the world to use because it's very beautiful, the Holographic Tarot. Not exactly holographic, but you know what? Still pretty. Still very, very beautiful. Sorry. I know when that tea cools down a little bit, I'll take that first shot and it'll be awesome. So, let's get into this, shall we? Let's see what's going on. Oh, by the way, before I do, our Jarl in the tribe of the Great Horn Pagans, Stein, just released a video. We did have a thing. We revised a few rules. We talked about some upcoming projects, such as a Great Horn Pagans podcast, where it would be the administration. That would also include yours truly, so you will be seeing my face talking about, whatever the discussion topic is. We will also be talking about some very sensitive and delicate subjects, because we don't do taboo. We just don't. But we will also, initially for guests, we will be pulling on various members of the tribe who are hard at work doing, yeoman's work and research, that sort of thing. Also, you can catch our Jarl Stein on the My Third Eye podcast, which is available on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm going to be checking that out this morning. I listened to the My Third Eye podcast on the Nephilim, which is a subject that has always fascinated me. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful stuff. And also, another one of our administration, Rachel, has her own podcast. And she has her own Telegram group as well. I believe it's Sunforge, if I'm not mistaken. I will start linking those in the description below tomorrow. And last but certainly not least, he revealed yesterday what I just started work on, which is a tabletop role-playing game. I'm still in the conceptual phases of it. I've got a few ideas jotted down. In fact, one of our own, Josh, contributed some very, very good writing to it. A very good opener to an adventure, so to speak. And so we're going to be playing around with some rule sets and just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't. But I'd like to say this. It's also meant to incentivize you looking into your own lineage, your own ancestry, seeing what your culture in the past was like, and of course applying those rules to that. And you can build your own lore around it, see what works, see what doesn't. do what's best for you at your table. So if you're, say, if you're of Celtic descent, you can take that Celtic lore and put it in. If you're Christian, you know, you trace your lineage back to I guess you know, ancient ancient Jerusalem. You want to put that in there and make a game out of that using the rule set. You can do that. But it's meant to give you sort of a sense of identity and make it fun to look into. Anyone from anywhere in the world can pick this up and look at it and then create their own game. Homebrew it. That will be the point. Anyway, let's get down to the point for today. Starting with a significator, you are the star. It's always a good thing to see the star pop up, because the star actually has a tendency to really light the way when we need it to. On top of that, we have hope and we have bright prospects. So if you're feeling a little bit of a loss, feeling a little abandoned today, you're all about embodying hope. It doesn't take much to do that. It really doesn't. You know, like I've always said, some little thing you do is going to mean the world to someone else. And with this being a brand new moon in a brand new month, right now, the stars are all we truly have. So, let's be that star today. But I know what you're thinking. How? How do we do that? Well, it starts with what we're thinking. And we have a Three of Wands, a Chariot, and a King of Cups. Starting over here with this Three of Wands. This Three of Wands is you looking at the accomplishments from the last month. You can look at last month, you can look at yesterday, you can look at your year. But you are kind of looking back and reflecting a bit. And you're seeing the successes. And there are successes to be had there. It doesn't matter if it's just like one or two, maybe three. You've had them. And it's time to really look at those. Because as much as we like to learn from failure, sorry, as much as we stress learning from failure, it's really important to learn from success as well. What led up to those successes? What were some of the key factors? What were the key contributors in that success? That's what you have to look at. The losses and the failures are there to also teach you. But you have to combine the two, because there are ultimate lessons to be learned. But then you move into the Chariot. And the Chariot is hard charging forward movement. This is not looking back. This is having that direction of moving forward, and that's really important, because once you know exactly what it was that was done and what got you there, it makes so much more sense, doesn't it? And then right after that we have a King of Cups. And I want you to notice something. I want you to look at that king. Look at that water. That water is choppy, it's moving, it is not letting up. That's a whirlwind of emotions there. But he is just sitting there. He's as calm as can be. And of course this is a little Piscean energy here. So, we have that sort of renewed birth today. So we're renewing thoughts. We're kind of being that calm center in the chaos around us, mentally speaking. Physically though, how are we doing? Well, we've got a six of Pentacles. We've got a Two of Wands here. And we have a Fool. So, our success is actually breeding a little generosity. We're having to make a decision. Now, this isn't the damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of decision. This one is a creative decision. And we got a world of choices. Let's go back to the 6 for just a moment. Remember that this is that card that tells us what you give away, you also have to give back to yourself. Don't forget to be generous with yourself. Don't forget to eat a little healthier. Take a little bit of a longer walk. Now, while something like a good long walk, maybe only an hour, hour and a half, listening to some music, getting away from things, that's also being good to yourself. It's fine to be good to others. And if you're in a job or something like that that requires you to take a position such as this and be seriously generous with your time, it's probably a very, very good idea to get away every once in a while. You know, take that break at work. Take that moment to really kind of come back to you for a minute. And on top of that, you take that longer walk. Whether you're listening to music or not, also contributes to your mental health. But there's also this. And it helps with this as well. That creative decision. You get the whole world at your fingertips. You got a world of possibility open. What is it you really, really want to accomplish? If you choose one now, it doesn't mean you can't go back and choose the other one later. Get to work on that one that you really, really want to, the one that has a world of possibility opening up for you. And then get ready for that new adventure. That's exactly what the Fool is telling us. We are about to embark on something brand new. Not only that, but the interesting thing is we're in a brand new moon. I think this is like the Chinese New Year. And we're in the year of the tiger. So it's very important to really embrace that energy. Start writing down those wishes. Get them ready. Because just because the last one's over, and many of us had a very hard time with it. We were on the downhill slide, we've reached the valley, now we're going to be moving back up. This happens every month. So start being aware of it. Also, for the spiritual, we have the Magician. We have the Page of Pentacles. And we have the Tower. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what what some feel about the tower. It's okay. Try not to get too much into it. You're going to be just fine. And the reason I tell you this is because right now, let's have this magician for just a minute. That magician has mastered all of his elements. This is everything about you. Everything that makes you what you are. And you know, the funny thing about the magician is he also embodies a little bit of diplomacy there. While he's mastered his spiritual elements, he's also mastered earthly elements, creative elements, emotional, his thoughts. Really give it a look. Because we try so hard in our spiritual practices to transcend the things around us. And listen, I know it gets a little heavy, but that's where the magician comes in and is telling you, don't retreat too far into it. Put the two together. Put that nature and supernature together. Hey look, some of us have to operate in the real world, right? I know I do. You do too. But that doesn't negate your power. That doesn't negate all that that I've told you before, where you are the most powerful being you know. Start acting like it. Moving into that Page of Pentacles. So it looks like we're going to have a little apprenticeship, a little study, if you will. It's going to require us to actually delve into it a little deeper than normal. And we're going to be receiving some news in there. Now what that news is, I'm not exactly sure, but normally it's good news. The thing is, move into this tower moment. This may require you, in fact I know it will, this may require you to develop some new ways of thinking, because it's going to tear down some preconceived thoughts, some notions you may have held for a long time that just are not serving you. You know something about the tower? That tower is, the tower itself is incidental. What it's actually telling you is that the structure may not be as solid as you thought, but the foundation could be. And if you have the foundation, well then you have everything you need. You build right back on top of that. And if the foundation is weak, it's time to shore it up. So let's sum up. Very, very simple, people. If you want to inspire, you want others to be hopeful, you're going to have to be that hope. Which means you're going to have to approach it with some calm. Approach it with a little excitement too. Really embrace that change that's coming. And I mean change in your personal life. When you've reflected on that, when you're ready to move forward, when you're at that calm, that peace with your life, you can then begin to alchemize all those pieces of yourself. Call back the pieces of your soul. The pieces that you've lost. Call them back. Believe one thing, they'll arrive. Might take a little while, but they'll do it. Then get ready. Get ready to take a moment to really sit down, turn off all the distractions, and just really examine things. Get ready for some things to be completely turned over onto their heads. But remember, even though you experience that loss from the tower here, there's still hope. There's still a foundation upon which you can build. And that is the greatest start to any month ever. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for having your breakfast or your tea with me, or your coffee, whatever it was. Thanks for hanging in there with my postnasal drip this morning. That's what happens. I have to clear my throat quite a bit. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. Going with that Six of Pentacles there. Remember, embark on those new adventures. Follow that star. Because once you do, others will follow you as well. Always do what lights you up, whenever you get an opportunity to do it. And as always, my friends, family, neighbors, and acquaintances, shine on.